This raise broke the record for the most kills ever in a single map. Leviathan's Aspas must be an alien from another planet, because year after year, this man is shattering records, carrying his team to titles, and doing the impossible. With a jaw-dropping 47 kills, Aspas put on a Raise masterclass. His flawless entries and decision-making backpacked Leviathan to a dominating 2-0 win over Sentinels, world champions. But how does he do it? What's this freak's secret to consistent, out-of-this-world play? Well, in this video, we're gonna dissect this master's craft and figure out what makes Aspas one of the greatest duelists in human history.
Aw, I hate Breeze.
Jimmy, relax. Statistically, it is your best map.
What the? How'd you know that, Teets?
Oh, I have Blitz.gg, the sponsor of today's video. With the free Blitz app, you'll find out what your best maps, weapons, and agents are with just a few clicks. You'll also learn about your team's strengths and your opponent's weaknesses right away in Agent Select. You then play to these and win more RR. Blitz is also a tool that helps you improve. There's an in-game dynamic stats overlay that gives you real-time statistics telling you what you need to work on. Now, once the game's over, there's post-game insights showcasing every area of your performance. They also support League, TFT, Apex, Fortnite, CS2, Palworld, and even Escape from Tarkov. So, Blitz costs you nothing, it helps you improve, and supports these expensive-ass videos. Check them out, link in the description. Download it now or I'm stealing your grandma. I'll be honest, I don't see the hype around Aspas. The dude's a clown. On Pistol Round, Leviathan's game plan is to release Fade's Prowler and swing his 3 as soon as this alarm bot triggers. But watch what this fraud does.
Players cross-firing towards the front B. First blood for Sentinel.
I was joking. Aspas is one of, if not the best duelist on Earth. Probably even the universe. But I think it's important to recognize that even players at the top of the food chain slip up sometimes. But Lev lost the pistol and then the eco, opening up a sliver of opportunity for Sentinels to come back. Now, off the back of a blazing 14-5 first half, which I broke down over my Patreon, Aspas is ready to start cooking again. His team's plan is simple: fight, retake, and stall. Normally on Lotus, you'd see a heavier stack to fight since there's 3 spike sites. But with the better weapons and a good game plan, a setup like this should cover all the bases. But Sentinels are locked into an early 1-3-1 setup where Viper and Killjoy are only applying pressure before rejoining the bulk of the offense in a B-Slamma-Jamma, where their close-range weapons should have a better chance against Lev's loadouts. As soon as the round starts, both teams trade utility. Send one-way mound, Lev smoke the Rebel Cross, but that gets briefly snuffed by Fade's Haunt. Both teams have secured their own piece of map control, but Sentinels are blasting into B.
He's keeping them at bay. There's that wall finally up. Showstopper to clear it out. Now all the way towards the back. Boombot misses, but Elise the sees, and then the showstopper.
Zekin's initial jump spot spotted Calm in Waterfall, and Saucy lobbed his goop to lock him in, so he couldn't escape this rocket launcher. Sentinels have the site, but instead of planning for spam, have planned it in pit, as they have close-range weapons and are electing to stay on site. Saucy makes his way into Secret for extra breathing room, and King triple checks Rebel once, twice, and 3 times to clear potential lurks. Now, once Lev are certain that Sentinels are all on site, it's time to retake.
Will they be able to take down Saucy?
Because they have lower guns here for a couple of them. You want to stay inside that site. That's the Stinger, and also 10's working in tandem. Both of them dropped by Aspas. 6 cents coming in from the duelist, even a third in the round.
Aspas has just single-handedly wiped all of B, but pay careful attention to how he's pathing here. He used his paint shells to flush any players on these boxes into Mazzino's Paranoia. Not only that, but when he comes out of the choke, he doesn't even clear this corner. I mean, think about it. If the Paranoia hits someone on these boxes, and his nade cleared close, there isn't really a reason to look this way just yet. They're nearsighted. So he took this opportunity to isolate anyone in Heaven or Pit, which would be harder to clear, before turning around and finally dealing with 10s. Then he quickly moved into Secret to pinch Saucy, but Sentinels still have 3 major win conditions.
2 HP remaining, paint shells across, line up Larry by John Cutie. As Aspas is at 1 HP. Was going inside the decay of the wharf. That slows the clock down for a bit. John Q and Zelsis having to work together. There's that dinosaur to the live and more. Never realized it there. And that will be a round for Sentinels to convert the bonus.
Despite losing to cringe Molly lineups last round, Lev were able to save 2 Vandals, which allows them to force up this round without it being Troll. Their game plan is similar to last. These two were stalling on A, but Lev want to scare the attackers into them by fighting both front B and C. Now, Sentinels are expecting a weaker buy, which usually means something aggressive is coming. So they're taking their time and are letting the defense show their hand before making a move. That could mean Sentinels might bite on this aggressiveness. The barriers drop, and we see an almost identical exchange of utility. Nano for C, One Way for Mound, Haunted, Smokes for Rubble. Neither team has established much control yet, but this Prowler from Saucy gives off the impression that multiple attackers are here. So Mazzino hits the switch, opens the door, and clears out their suspicions. To Sentinels, an aggressive play like this means that there's 3 or 4 players here, signaling that A is probably weaker. The offense decide to pick up the pace, but not their poison orb? Is this thing stuck? Regardless, Sentinels don't have time to waste and book it into A.
One up. Nice, that's Killjoy. That's a lurker. That's a full commit, full commit. I'll fuck it. That's all there.
Out. Third side, guys.
We're coming right to heaven.
I'm gonna smoke there for you, King.
Swing through. Let's go. Let's swing inside. Swing inside. Coming. Where do you go? I go on walking out.
Combine the fact that King never showed himself all round, the offense only saw Killjoy's utility on site, the Prowler missed, and she swung, sacrificing herself for the greater good. Sentinels never expected Viper in tree after this bait. And Mazzino has sent in a support smoke from spawn, shielding King from aggressors alongside his snakebite, wall, and is buying just enough time for his teammates to funnel in and initiate a flood.
I have the right side. Give all dead.
What's yard, guys?
One more. We can swing right. Yeah, I'm swinging right. Give all blind.
The smoke, blind.
One
Give all
enemy
nice.
remaining.
3.
Spike down A.
Don't know where he is.
Tweet.
You sure?
Yeah.
100%.
Let's go!
Every part of this retake looks planned out. Com tried finding his through this small gap in Mazzino's dark cover, and Aspas found his first on Zekin, knowing he'd try to make more space back site. But notice how Lev pinched the site with their Viper. Aspas didn't move a muscle until Com was ready. But once he was attached to his hip, Mazzino ripped a flash for them, enabling to trade Com for his second. He then whipped out a showstopper, knowing just how important this round was for both teams' economies, and anticipated Saucy's swing. I mean, think about it. Saucy only had 2 options here. Either sit around and eventually get blown to pieces, or try to swing Aspas when he isn't expecting it. So far, we've seen 2 big green flags from Aspas that you want to see in every duelist player. Previously, he understood what his team's utility does and clears for him, allowing Aspas to have a flawless retake. And now here, his patience and discipline was put on full display as he waited for the enemy to come to him and then stayed still until his teammate was ready to go. And in this video, there are so many more green flags coming.
If I had a nickel for every time Lev and Sentinels had the same setup, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened 3 times.
Nano, Smokes, Haunt, you get how this goes. But this time, Lev swaps up their timing and waits a bit before blasting main with a Paranoia Siege Trap, once again clearing the area. But now that the offense have created a question mark in front B, Com won't feel safe playing this close and is forced to fall back. Meaning, the attackers should have an easier time snagging Fade's last ult point on Mound. So they back out of B and head that way next. And Viper's going to peek to apply pressure, but what the... How is that not a headshot? And how many times is John QT going to get screwed this game? Whatever. Zelsis' turret got shot, so Sentinels are forced to commit a one-way and Prowler to back Lev off. The offense eventually get their Nightfall, but this triggers a reaction from Aspas. And it could be one of 2 things. 1, he's leaving C, recognizing that there's no way he's contesting this ult, and is just getting ready to retake through this door. A common but strong strategy as it creates a 3rd choke point that the offense has to worry about. Or 2, because his team has lost so much ground, he's taking it upon himself as a duelist to have Com Prowler front B so that he can fight and regain some map control. But we'll never know, because Sentinels immediately slam C with a tsunami of utility, forcing Mazzino to retreat. Now, with this newfound positioning, Aspas is going to take this time to make a play before his teammates are ready to retake.
Nice. I'm going.
Normally, making a play like this is bold on your own, as when you open the door, you're exposed to like a million different off angles. But this smoke allowed him to isolate Mound and then sight. Plus, with Com backing it up, it wasn't too bad of a play. But this button press has activated a response from Sentinels. If Lev are coming through Mound, the attackers need to take more space, otherwise they're going to get crunched.
Could be from me. I'm 1 HP.
Three city.
Two of us are one.
If so, we can fight.
These two elims have alleviated some of this pressure coming from all three lanes. For now. Aspas has repositioned with his friends and group up right where Sentinels just cleared.
Nothing.
Turrets destroyed.
Close. I'm gonna recount close. Recounting. I'm going down. Bro, get close left. Close left.
I'm gonna peek right. I have
Swing
your
close
right.
left. I have your right. Dead right. Swing out with you. Nice. Nice. Side left.
Nice! Fucking
So, Teets, why did Aspas leave door? Couldn't he have pinched sight with his team? Wow, Jimmy, actually a good question. Well, Aspas knew that this first kill on Tens created a huge question mark on Mound. The Sentinels have no idea what's going on back here unless they physically go check. So, as long as they don't, it will always feel like someone is coming from behind to flank them. So Aspas whipped out his knife to quickly reposition into spawn, and because none of Sentinels pushed Waterfall either, it still felt like they were getting pinched. This high-low became divided, and before Aspas went to clear it, he lobbed a satchel, detonating it right before he swung to destroy their accuracy. Game sends, another green flag. Sentinels used the Viper's Pit to secure the next round on B after trading out on Mound, and then they converted Lev's eco into another win. Now, Sentinels are starting to make a legit comeback, so Lev takes the time out to talk advanced strategy. Listen up, everybody. Actually, just Aspas. Go kill them. Man, I wonder what Sentinels are talking about. Buy the Sentinel!
Coming out of their timeout, Leviathan are adjusting their setup slightly, moving Viper to C and Omen to B, ready to punish Sentinels for constantly poking around in B main. But Sentinels are ready for a push punish like this, so they're sliding in Killjoy for Fade to use her bots to keep the defenders back. Before creeping up B, John QT threatens a Rebel Cross again, and Sassy applies pressure C by haunting above 10s one way. This forces King to stop, drop, and roll out his Viper's Pit. Now back on B, Zelsis just placed his alarm bot, so Aspas gets ready.
What they have left in the strat book. Aspas just a bit on the off angle here for the peak.
Ooh. Showstopper ready.
Stays.
Comes out, connects onto Celsius. Meanwhile, though, Calm has fallen, so they did have some sort of a trade here.
Normally as Raze, you don't want to sit in an off angle like this. You're not Reyna or Chamber. But when you have Calm right around the corner ready to swing, this becomes a perfect bait setup. Aspas takes first contact, Calm takes second, and then this rocket launcher has time to come out and take third. Tens was ready for the swing, but not before Aspas got 2.5. And then Mazzino cuts them off with a dark cover. Now, if you're Sentinels, what do? You give up! Jimmy, no. Look at Lev's money. In ranked, yeah, your teammates are probably giving up. But it's really important that you do as much damage as possible so that you hurt their future buys and make your next rounds easier. So Tens and Sassy team up and put King's Viper's Pit to the test.
Can help it.
Unable to dodge the Prowler, too. Ten's just getting ready to TP somewhere into C's right in.
Yeah.
Now John QT has walked all the way up A and has figured out that the defense are playing retake. So he barges in, snapping every piece of Texas tech. But he's keeping his cool and letting Sentinels plant. It's impossible for Lev to lose if they just retake altogether.
To the boxes, an easy win there. John Cutie trying to create some space. Clearing out all that util on the A site. Now realizes the last nano, jump spot kill. Should have done it with a classic, why not? But yeah, Sassy's gonna meet up with them. They'll get a plant and a nightfall out of this, so there's still some sort of hope here for Sentinels on a post plant. But Leviathan are at the ready. Three of them grouped up here at the staircase.
Pushing, trying to focus a high-low that might be a swing, but I don't know if they have the time. 3 now, about to approach.
Oh, the nightfall was looking towards the spawn. They were looking for a timing to push in that area, and it's a backstab.
The score was 8-12, match point. But Sentinels pulled some miracles out of their ass.
Good.
Alright, let's go!
And then it happened again.
One enemy remaining.
Jail.
How did Lev lose these rounds? Subscribe. That's for another video. But Sentinels managed to push overtime thanks to an insane Omen outplay from Tens, who teleported back site after this haunt cleared it, followed up by 2 big ultimates. Now, Aspas went quiet for the first OT as Sentinels countered Lev's C default and then expected another B trap. But now he's ready to close this game out. His team is starting in a 4-1 default, ready to brawl for Mound right into Sentinels 3. The defense secures the space behind their one-way, strong off-angle from Tens, and Boombot canceling out Lev's Snakebite and High Haunt. Now, despite having 4 here, Lev elect to leave for 3 reasons. 1. Without flashes, the offense don't feel safe contesting the one-way and all these off-angles. 2. Even if they smoke and leak out, Sentinels just counter this default and are learning how to handle it. And 3, this Boombot is a dead giveaway that the defense are fighting. So instead of taking an unfavorable fight, they leave. And this information has been relayed to Killjoy over on A. If the defense is fighting C, odds are that this half is weaker. So King and Tex scale all the way up. Wait a second, haven't I done this bit before? Now John QT has walked all the way up A. They both decide to stop right before the alarm bot and allow the rest of their pack to apply pressure B. So we have question marks outside of C, and B surely rotates wouldn't be here. But Sentinels are here again. After not receiving any pressure on C, they're convinced that they've won the fight for this part of the map and want to stay proactive. But this smoke has pushed Tens back. With multiple lanes to leak out of, he can get punished hard. So, question mark made outside of C, and before heading back to rejoin Viper and Killjoy in A, Lev want to make sure rotates are dragged away. Com Prowlers front B, send one back shortly after, but Aspas blasted on his way out. Now finally, question marks have been created outside of each site. This perfect default has spread the defense thin enough to allow the offense to hit whichever site they choose. And in this case, it's A. Now Sentinels, they have 2 options. They can 1, get proactive in an area that Lev haven't shown presence in a while. This would give the defense an early sign of where the attackers are headed, but it's risky, especially when so much utility is at stake. Or 2, Sentinels can gamble stack. This solidifies 2 of the 3 sites, but leaves a big hole. These are just the tough decisions you have to make when defending on Lotus. The defense opt for the latter, leaving B butt naked, and now it's up to Sentinel site holds to win them this round.
Flashing here.
Side.
Wait for the body. It's market close. Two. We're slow. We're slow. I got it. I have to. Tyler backside. Tyler. Swing.
Backside.
30 seconds left.
Broke it.
Dropping my shit.
When hitting A, you don't really need to make space, but instead need to split through tree to crunch. But defenders will anchor down in these areas. So to break their crosshairs, Aspas satchelled across stairs and spotted Zelsis. This helped his team line up a snakebite and nade to flush him out. Next, Aspas satchelled across site for the same reason, which got John QT caught in a C's, Boombot, and Aspas sandwich. Now, if you're a defender in either of these spots, which side do you aim at? It's not an easy decision, but this second kill has given Aspas his second paint shells, creating him space in this heaven smoke to push deeper.
On top. Pal. Someone hold my drop.
Yeah, hold it drop, guys, too. Oh, yeah. Drop. Low drop.
I'm gonna fight this guy.
I'm gonna spamming. One drop, one heaven.
1 enemy
That drop,
remaining.
that drop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck this guy. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Both teams are going back and forth, neither giving an inch. But this time, Sen is pushing game point and are pounding it up A into Lev's 2 anchors and their patented 2-1-2. Tex places his alarm bot forward to gain early A info, but he's quickly blown back by Sentinel's explosive satchel, teleport, and haunt start. In response to losing all this space, Lev flipped the switch and dominate B main and Mound, pushing Zelsis way far back. But all this aggressiveness is just giving Sentinels the green light to make up for it on A.
And then Tandem falling back. Sentinels pushing out towards the A side as there's 2 players out under defensive there. But Tens just got caught coming out of his shrouded step. But John Cutie stuck behind. He's at the staircase. He hears a rotate. This is an opportunity to bring Baby Door and move towards B for a plant, and they'll do so.
This one-way, Poison Orb, and Toxic Screen proved to be too much to handle. But all this stomping and spawn has given John QT an idea. Ah! Help! They're pushing me! Tell my wife I loved her! Dude. I hear them running through spawn. Go B! Sentinels have realized that these initial B aggressors have retreated and are now on A ready to retake. Meaning B is now free. So the attackers bust down the door, spread out throughout side and main, and make themselves at home. But did they forget their IGL?
Everybody quiet.
That's 2 kills for him, and second is there. 2 versus 2, second and Saucy.
How many times is a Prowler going to burn these teams? you need to be thorough when clearing corners with them. Regardless, King got the trade, Zekin traded him, and Mazzino has committed to the C flank, taking down Zelsis. Now, in Aspas' head, there's two pressing issues. One, Sen just plowed through Secret, and Zekin has taken refuge in there. Someone's got to get him out. And two, Sassy just planted. He's either on site or in Waterfall. Aspas and Mazzino have to snuff both players out of their new homes and defuse. It won't be easy. But with Mazzino's position, they should be able to isolate one from the other.
Paranoia being thrown out on the defense. Aspas trying to fight against Zekin. Superstar against Superstar. Now deciding to push back and defend his teammate. Defusing the spike. There's that lean on the first, the look back on the other. Zekin's with the sprays, but cannot get it done.
Now that's how you rip apart a crossfire. From B main, Mazzino launches Paranoia, covering all of Secret. But this dynamic duo kept off this space with a dark cover, a boombot, but then Aspas went quiet. He knew that since site was empty and his Omen has pushed up this far, that Sassy had to be Waterfall. And cutting noise like this creates the question mark in Sen's head. Is Aspas still clearing Zekin? Or has he turned his attention towards Sassy? And because Mazzino was sticking, Aspas had Sentinels in checkmate. Kicking off round a lot of overtime, Lev are testing the waters to find out what the defense are contesting before grouping up and hitting a site. And from the looks of Sentinel's 3-1-1 setup, they're fighting C. Ten's one-ways, teleports, and Zekin charges into the offensive smoke behind his boombot. For the first time this game, Sentinels have completely countered every avenue of this mounted default, and Lev do not want to force into this blunder. But before leaving, Mazzino and Com sent out their Paranoia and Haunt to try and make themselves look scary? What was that for? After realizing that they've won the battle for Mound, Sentinels rotate off, leave Tens to hold this line, and head to reinforce A, where once again, Lev have advanced because of all the pushback they received on Mound. But Killjoy and Viper have a lot, and I mean a lot, of stall.
Bourbon, no kills. We stay hot now for Leviathan. Backpedaling once again towards the spot.
After taking all the space on A, King decides to hang back and catch any rotators, or maybe pinch Secret, while the rest of his team heads up B. Currently to Lev, both sites look like a living hell, but B is the offense's only gap. But Tens hasn't spotted anything from his crow's nest on C, and then there's crickets on A. Sentinels need to know what's going on. So Com rips a Prowler through stairs, not latching onto a soul. All of this information means one thing. B.
Heaven again. Tethering him.
Left side heaven. Take heaven, guys. Take heaven.
Yeah. I'm playing Spyro. Take Heaven. Yeah. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. Let's go. One more. Hit 78. Okay.
Notice when Lev were contacting up, Com and Aspas were holding different angles for each other. But as soon as they saw someone, in this case, Sassy and Heaven, they popped their Paint Shell Seize combo to make room for Aspas to take space. Similar to what we saw previously in Waterfall. But watch as this superstar doesn't overextend like every duelist in your ranked games. He waits patiently inside their dark cover until Com can work up and Prowler through, granting him 2 more. But John QT sprayed 3. Then Mazzino punished Zekin, who thought he had a timing through the commotion, and now it's down to a game of stall. King, who was left on A, ready to pinch Secret, now has to make his way through stairs, spawn, and into Heaven. If Mazzino can buy him enough time, Lev should be able to pull through.
Setting the zero other.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Oh yeah! That's what I like to see out of my
Give it up for round. What round is it? Okay, well, last round, Aspas was running on pure confidence. Lev started C, grabbed an ult point for this rocket launcher, and ended A. Him and Tex double swung back site with his boombot, pinching Tens. He then pushed Heaven. Why? Well, there's no analysis. He's just a Giga Chad.
Okay. Flank.
One up. Molly, Tex, Molly. I'm gonna ping.
Placing swamp grenade.
We have another smoke and 4 for mid. Yeah. Play safe now. Then we take out don't to delay. Aspas, try.
Enemy remaining.
Now delay. Let Aspas find him. Nice.
We're good. We're good.
I'm watching heaven.
I'm falling under. He's under.
He's under. I'm gonna. Wow.
Pick on me, pick on me, pick on me.
Wall up,
Wall up, and we fall. Wall up and we fall.
You're
We
perfect
just
now.
hold this guy. He's far.
Hold together straight.
Nice one,
Oh, yeah.
guys. Let's go. Nice, nice.
Yes, sir, boy.
At the end of the day, Valorant is a game of confidence. Without it, you're doomed to fail. But when you have it, you're a god. But now, we're on match point again. The Sentinels are 4-1 defaulting this time and want to farm up Zealous' lockdown for the post plant. And yeah, he does need 3 orbs, but that kind of makes sense. As the caboose of the offense, Killjoys are usually planting and getting trades, so planning around an ultimate despite needing 3 points is fantastic. Now in Lev's 2-3, these two are anchoring site, while these 3 are pushing deeper than we've ever seen this game. Sentinels copy Lev's mount default by smoking, teleporting, boombotting, haunting, prowlering, subscribing, and Mizzino is forced to retreat. In the meantime, Com has lobbed his haunt through B site, peering over rubble, securing the space for Lev. But the offense don't have enough info. No one really fought Mound, and Sentinels only saw a haunt on A. So John QT continually jump spots main, waiting for the slightest bit of information. But back on C, Killjoy grabs the orb, but holy cow! Are Lev pushing into this poison orb?
Poison's off.
Yep, walking way go.
I had the pass play.
Ready to swing?
Pink, pink.
Let's leave, let's leave. This guy's gonna be scared. He's not
Got the
gonna.
pass.
Yeah, yeah.
They smoke C.
Watch the reaction. They're gonna
Got the
react.
pass here.
Molly to C right now.
Pass in.
Nice.
They delay.
For the first time this entire game, Lev has peeked past rubble and into a main. And also, Lev have always shown where they're fighting with their utility dumps, making their setups obvious. But this round, they kept their stack quiet and piqued John QT's interest and caught him jump spotting. And then they barely missed him with his snakebite paint shells combo. In response to this madness, John QT flips up his wall and snakebites the entrance, hoping to shield himself from these savages. But because Aspas knew that John QT was trapped on this half of main, he could use this ledge to peek over the Smolly and snag Sentinel's spaceholder while he was trying to escape. And talk about impact frags, because this first blood spelt disaster for Sentinels. Because with the only space they have being on Mound, where else are the attackers going to go besides right into Lev's 2 side anchors?
They're in. I'm blind.
Nice, Mizzino. I can recon for y'all in a sec.
I will do it.
They're in.
Go in.
Survive.
Recon,
I
recon.
cannot survive. I just
I'm with you. I'm holding you right.
dead.
I break. I tell you right. I tell you right.
Okay,
Try to
okay.
tuck. Try to tuck. Try to tuck.
I'm trying.
Both or now?
Both. One, top. Both. Chill.
Tuck, 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 tuck. You have smoke?
He's dead. Two. Holding under. I'm gonna smoke side, okay?
Yeah, do it.
Holding as well. One big and
Nice. Yeah, more. Get their ass.
Go. We'll just fight this guy, Aspas.
This bench.
I'm with you.
Here I come.
Thanks to this ballsy, yet educated play, Aspas forced Sentinels into Lev's side anchors, where they stalled out long enough to finally win the game. But who's a better duelist? Aspas or Kong Kong? You tell me. 2 Valorant legends.